Everybody, and welcome to another edition of 18 Minutes. And today, friends, we are rejoined again by IDT Australia and its managing director, Paul McDonald. And Paul now is continuing to deliver quarter after quarter. And Paul, I believe now it's about 2 years in a row. So this is really a space to watch a company that is delivering with a large growth profile on top of it. And with that introduction, Paul, welcome back.
Thank you, Greg. It's great to be here today.
Great. Hey, Paul, as I said, you just completed yet another quarter now of growth. I believe that your year-on-year growth in certain segments, especially, is nearly 90%. And what's really great that we discussed it offline and we're going to discuss it today is how the sum of your parts equal more than each individual vertical. But maybe talk to us a little bit about those last fourth quarter results.
Yeah, we've been in a strategic transformation now for 2.5 years. And that is what's driving the growth. We've actively gone out and sold the typical businesses that we've been involved with for many years, which is more the API and then similar SKUs. So we've gone out and actively tried to bring in clients that we've already got validated processes for. And then in the second part of the strategy would be, let's identify similar products and similar product lines that have very similar processes that we can easily pivot to and expand into new markets. And then the third part of that strategy was do something wildly different, right? And let's create a sand pit and go
Right.
in and do something that's very different, which is going to need new talent. It's going to need new understanding and new learning, but also follow some of the global mega trends that we see within the pharmaceutical industry. So our API and specialty oral business is
Right.
more longer standing, but the advanced therapy leg that we've built is really where we're trying to progress and grow and enter into new markets.
Yeah, and Paul, speaking of the growth in the advanced therapy region or vertical, I should say, the numbers are pretty staggering. Can you just give people some metrics on it?
Yeah, well, as I said, 2.5 years ago, we began that sandpit strategy on the advanced therapies. And really what we're looking at is global megatrends, high barriers to entry, and really complex formulations. We didn't really want to chase the generic market or the Me Too market. We wanted to go out and look at, the advancing therapies and that are very complex. So that's a 2.5 year in now. And typically, the manufacturing that you see goes back to a lead that was generated and a connection with a company, followed by 3 to 6 months before you win a contract, then 3 to 6 months to do a technology transfer, develop the technology, potentially purchase equipment, understand, and then actually go into manufacturing. So generally, the manufacturing we're doing became a lead 12 months ago. So two
Right.
and a half years in, now we're starting to see those sandpit ideas coming through, mostly in mRNA vaccine manufacture and also in the antibody drug conjugate space. So it's a targeting chemotherapy.
Right, exactly. I know you just mentioned there about the pipeline that we're now as shareholders, I suppose, getting the benefit of the 2.5 years of work, but
Right.
now we'll start to cycle on. Can you just talk about the pipeline a little bit, though?
Yeah, and the pipeline, obviously, we've hit the road and we've gone to the US and we've gone to the trade shows. We've gone to trade shows in Asia as well. We see there's an opportunity to grow our client base in Asia, and we've secured new agreements in Korea and in Japan. So this is an important area for us, as well as securing new agreements within US. We've secured agreements in Boston area and also in the Californian West Coast. So we're starting to generate those contracts now. Some of those contracts are in the API business. Some of them are in the advanced therapy, and we're also starting to get traction through in the specialty orals, particularly around the mental health, CNS, and brain disorders.
Right. And is this again, we mentioned it before how the sum of the parts, the 1 + 1 + 1 = 4,
Yeah.
if you will. Is this what you're talking about? How you go, you speak with the customer about one area and then it moves naturally into the other area?
Absolutely, Greg. So we will have a conversation where with the API business is literally it's a small molecule, right? So we will design the synthesis and manufacture this small molecule, and a client will come to us for that service. They go, I've got a novel molecule that has some sort of activity with a certain part of a biological system, and they'll say, I want you to scale and replicate that molecule. And then we'll say to them, how would your formulation and finish of that product? Do you want tablet, capsule, injectable? And then they'll say, oh, we didn't know you did that. So then
Really?
we
Okay.
follow on conversations and we build into the second part. We can also label clinical trial material and release to the clinic as well. So we start to sell the downstream processes to them.
Right. And Paul, you mentioned about growth and that you're also going with the mega trends. Obviously, two of the major trends are oncology breakthroughs and then also mental health. Can you
Yes.
just go specifically into those two areas and how IDT fits in?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the third one is the pandemic response and
Okay.
respiratory diseases that we've seen post-COVID. But the first one, mental health, not just mental health, but in typically of an aging population, we're seeing degenerative CNS disorder and neuro disorder as well. So we're talking about not just depression, but we're also talking about Alzheimer's. We're talking about other mental injuries as well, where a lot of the patients don't respond well to existing drugs that are on the market.
Yeah.
A large population do respond, but there's a portion that don't respond to the traditional meds. So there's an active market in that unmet medical needs space in the CNS disorder and mental health, and we're active there, and we're actively selling the services to make those small molecules, and then most of them will get converted to a tablet or a capsule, so it'll feed the specialty oral business, and some of them even go into injections as well. So we'll also feed the advanced therapy pipeline as well.
Got
Then
it.
the second one you were talking about was the oncology,
Correct.
and yeah, the traditional chemotherapy poisons the body. It has a activity against the replication of cells, the proliferation of cells. So whatever their mode of mechanism, and there's many strategies to limit proliferation, it impacts healthy cells as well. So the new models of chemotherapy have a targeting or a very explicit tumor targeting response, so that the side effects and the off-target effects are minimized. And when you achieve that, you can also increase the dose. So traditional chemotherapy will be poison and until the person can't tolerate anymore. So
Right.
if you increase the tolerability and the targeting and reduce offsite, obviously you've got far greater opportunity for aggression of the disease.
Right. And for you viewers out there, if you take nothing away from today's interview, please note that we are in the golden age of cancer therapies and cancer research. The breakthroughs in the last 10 to 15 years have been mind-blowing, truly, Paul. Paul, what we also love about IDT Australia is the metrics, the numbers. I'm just going to quote here right now. I believe that the last quarter showed 5.3 million in revenue, but then which is actually a faster run rate than the previous 12 months, which was 12 million. In other words, if you take that 5 million and change times four, that makes 25 million. How are you achieving such good growth?
Yes, as I explained a little earlier, it takes 12 months to win a contract and transfer a product through. So what we're seeing today is the result of the work we did 12 months ago. And as we continue to win contracts and improve our brand within the market, we're winning more contracts. So in the last quarter, we won $12.9 million worth of contracts, right? So that was a substantial quarter. That's a significant uplift on previous quarters. So that will flow through to the
Right.
preceding quarters and continue our growth. So obviously, the other part to that is the return work. So clients that we have in our system that
Yeah,
have done a phase one or gone to a phase two, the number of units that they need to manufacture and distribute are up in multiples. So it's a scale increase. We have one client that is a US client that started with gram quantities of API.
right.
We've now manufactured more than 20 kilo runs,
Wow, okay.
progressing through to the end of the year to be potentially 200 kilos, right?
Oh
So
my God.
these
Okay.
type of scales are, why we are investing in early stage assets is if they survive, they grow. So the more return work is growth and greater volumes and greater output and greater dollars. So that sort of creates the tailwind for us to continue quarter on quarter growth. Plus, we've got a very active business development arm, which is looking to bring in new assets. So if we do win a contract, it won't be overly material in the first instance because it's an early stage asset. But as they continue to grow and progress through phase two, phase three, and go commercial, that you'll see that hit our top line. We also have three assets that are running through our business right now from our clients' behalf that are approaching commercialization. So we expect three assets to really commercialize over the next calendar year.
Got it. Paul, thank you so much again for joining us here right now. This is really, truly a great story as I said, you're in the right space, medical, you have the growth, you've got the contracts, you got the repeatability. Any closing remarks for the audience?
Yeah, I think that we are about 2.5 years into that strategy. So we will look to build onto that strategy and look at how we can potentially position the company to get to the next level. We want to continue the quarter on quarter growth. We want to continue the validation of that strategy, but we'll also look at opportunities to go bigger and better in the future.
Got it. Paul, thank you so much. We really look forward to speaking with you again.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks for having me today.